Welcome to Our Darlington, the podcast where we explore the heart and soul of Darlington through its local independent businesses and the people that make it special. I'm James Carver.
I'm Henry Carver, and we're here to shine a spotlight on our beloved town. Join us as we sit down with the passionate local people to delve into their stories and uncover the unique contributions they make to our community and to find out about the town where we live.
Get ready to be inspired by the people and stories that make Darlington truly special.
If you're walking through the door, Andy, something's up. I don't want to see you. I'm paying you a monthly fee. I never want to see you again. The day starts with, Andy, you're not going to believe this. And it's obviously like, oh my goodness me. To them.
You know that link you told me not to click?
That's the one.
On it.
George, have you been watching adult content during your lunchtime? Yes, I have. Right.
Please stop it. And then you just turned it off and not back on again.
Oh,
We probably should check that we've got it on.
Yes, you have.
Yes, we do, absolutely.
Absolutely,
yes,
you do.
Yes, we do. Today, we're joined by Andy Reid from Resilient Business Systems, a Darlington-based IT company supporting businesses across the UK for over 20 years. Most of us rely on tech every day, but only really think about it when something goes wrong. So today, we're going to lift the lid on what's happening behind the scenes, from cybersecurity and data protection to keeping your business running efficiently. Andy, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, young sirs. How are we?
Very well,
Good.
thanks, very well.
Is this the first time on a podcast?
Yeah, no. I'm normally that.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Yes,
No,
yes.
it's very good. But thank you very much for inviting me. It's really kind.
Pleasure.
So you've been doing all that James said in the intro for how long?
Would you believe it, my friend? It is Resilient Systems' 21st birthday today.
No way.
April the 1st, 2005, I incorporated the company.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you. 21
Birthday
years
to
old.
you.
Yeah.
So
Very good.
yes, but I've been doing it that long. It's been a long, long journey, but thoroughly exciting, enjoyable, sometimes a little bit pants holding together, enjoyable, but no, really good. We're doing it for a long time.
So looking back 21 years and one day, how did it all begin?
It all began, my friend, when I used to be a technical stroke salesman for a local business. I was doing very well with it, but there was something tugging at me. I was always interested with IT. My mum, God rest her soul, and my father brought me a BBC micro back in the day. And within probably, I would say, 2 to 3 months, I'd stopped playing games and I was tinkering. I was playing with it. I was writing programs. So I've always had that fascination. I've always had that drive to write programs, to work out how things work. My wife calls me the Matrix. I can just look at a computer and go, it's not right. So how do you know? And I just fucking know. But going back to the story, an opportunity came where who was my accountant at the time, he's retired now, but he basically had a computer. And he said to me, Andy, you know about this computer stuff, shall we say?
Yeah.
You know about this computer stuff. Can you help me set it up? So I did. Help him set it up. Back in those days, it was backing up to CDs, and setting it all up. And I was still working. So I went round at the weekend very nicely and set it up. Fabulous. About 3 or 4 months later, he rang me up and he went, Andy, the computer's crashed. Can you come round? And it really was a bit of a disaster. He'd lost everything. And I went, that's no problems at all. Where's the discs that I gave you to back up? I've not been backing up. I was like, oh my goodness me. So I spent probably about 4 or 5 hours desperately trying to recover the data. Thankfully I did. Backed it up to CD again. I went, right, this time, don't forget to back it up. Blow me, 6 months later, the exact same thing happened. So I managed to recover the data yet again. And that's when he turned around and he went, look, can I just pay you a monthly fee to look after it? I went, yeah, if you want. It's a bit of extra pocket money. At that time, the business that I was currently with was, let's say it was going through a couple of acquisitions and a couple of things were happening with the company that I was like, I don't really like this. We're being taken over by a larger company. I'm beginning to lose what I sensed the business was about. And luckily for me, my accountant then passed my name on to somebody else and said, oh, Jack's passed your name on. Can you have a look at my computer? And the inkling of an idea started. And God bless my boss. I approached him at the time and I said, I think I've got an idea for the business. And he went, fantastic, Andy. I'll give you 6 months. If it doesn't work, you can still work for me. But as long as I don't see it impacting the work today, then fabulous. And touch wood, within about 3 to 4 months, I was like, I can make a go of this. And then I went for it.
Fantastic. So what do you do?
I hate saying that we just look after IT. From my point of view, we turn a bad day for a business into a good day. We just keep things ticking over. Yeah. If I can help a company just not realize that their tech is not working, if I can help them just go, everything seems to be working okay, to me, that's a bonus. Yeah. That's resilient in a nutshell. Yeah. I've got one lovely customer in Darlington. When I first ever spoke to him, he was going through a bit of a bad time with a previous IT company. They'd lied to him effectively, and his backups weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing. I got recommended to him, and I remember the first conversation, and he's a bluff character, but he's a lovely chap. And he went, if you're walking through the door, Andy, something's up. I don't want to see you. I'm paying you a monthly fee. Yeah. I never want to see you again. And it was like, that's interesting, because obviously, if you think about it, even in your business, guys, if IT's running, you don't know about it. It's just working. Yeah. It's like heating at home. You don't give it a second thought, but the minute it goes wrong, it's all you can think about.
Yeah, and then it's panic stations.
Then it's panic. Like, my heating's not working, winter's coming. That's the same with IT. It has to just keep running. And oddly enough, my strapline is, you run your business, we run it, IT.
Yeah.
And that's the whole key. And I just love helping businesses feel as though their IT should be working for them, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are like, oh, I can't get used to this. It's not working. I'm like, well, chill. Yeah. I can help you do that. I can work it out how to do that. So it really has become, my wife calls it a natural skill, that typically the day starts with, Andy, you're not going to believe this. And it's obviously like, oh my goodness me. To them,
you know that link you told me not to click.
That's the
clicked
one.
On it.
I clicked on it, or I can't get any of my emails. I can't do this, and I'm usually, or the team is usually the one that goes, "That's okay. Hey, do not worry. I understand. Listen, this and that, we'll get it sorted." And I think in the very early days, it was we had a local business. I think it was 8:30. The phone rings, and you're just like, "That's not good. That's not good." He's ringing my mobile at 8:30. Hi, how's it going? And he was basically, Andy, nothing's working. Literally, we can't have this. He said, "I've got so many deals to get done today. I went, listen, I'm on my way." I remember walking in about 5 to 9, and all the people were just sat there looking at me. And when you just get that, it's the old. What's the Wells in London? When you walk into the pub, everybody just goes, "It's Andy," and I was just like, "No, these guys, we're here to sort it out."
And then you just turned it off and not back on again.
Story up.
The cat's out the bag, guys.
I am going to have to kill you. But no, it was something to do with some corrupt service or something like that. Yeah. So probably within about 2 to 3 hours, got them back up and running. And, it was really nice. From when I first spoke to the gentleman at 8:30, he was like, "Andy, what am I going to do? What am I going to do?" 12 o'clock or so, he was like, "Andy, wow, what a star. But walking out of there, seeing all the faces smiling, I just got such a buzz out of it.
Yeah. And the sorts of clients you're dealing with, are they local? Are they national, international?
They're national, I would say, my friend. In terms of that, we do have one customer that we had over in Middleton Teesdale that got taken over, and they were taken over by a company in Germany. So I have a lot of conversations with people in Germany. I never travel out there, but I would say that we have a majority of clients. So my most recent lives up in Fife. She's a well-being coach. So again, she's a single lady, lovely lady is Alice. And we deal with just that particular person, helping that. One of my great stories is that we took over the IT for a local business based in Darlington, Lane 7. Level X, the bowling people. Mm-hmm. And they had about 3 or 4 sites when Resilient took them over. We still have them as a customer. They're worldwide now, in Berlin, everything. And for me, gentlemen, that was really nice, because when I left them, or when they left me, and I'll come back to that, we had almost about 14, 15 sites. But they grew to such a size that they was like, we need our own IT department. Yeah. And that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
My goal is, if I can get a company to a size where they take over the IT themselves, I'm like, cracking.
Perfect.
Absolutely perfect for me. I remember John, bless him, he came on board. He took a look at what we've done. He'd obviously got some experience from previous. He was like, wow, Andy, this is pretty good. We'll keep going with what you're going with and we'll keep running. In a roundabout way, I was like, okay, that's fine then, see you later, God bless you. And no, Andy, we'll keep you on as a consultant. You've done such a good job.
Yeah.
We'd like to keep you on. And that was 4 years ago. And every year he still says, no, I'm keeping you on, Andy. I'm like, okay, eventually they will, they'll have to. They're growing that big. They're massive. I mean, the Level X now, if you've ever been to the one in Middlesbrough, phenomenal. VR and all the Mario Kart racing and all the stuff like that. They are amazing. But I'm really, really proud to have gotten them to that stage and they're keeping on going.
And you mentioned we when you're mentioning the team.
Yes.
Who is the we?
Right. So the team is made up of myself, my wife, Michelle Reed, my son, Dan Reed, and Eddie McGee. He's not family, but he was my best man at my wedding. So I think
It's close enough.
Close enough. And we're looking to recruit another apprentice. The last one left us. So we're looking to recruit another one. So really, we are a very small team, but I constantly say we punch way above our weight. One of the things that does excite me is that in the early days of Resilient, where the company that I used to work from and left, there's a few other people that had left at the same time. Again, linking back to the company was changing, things like that. And then one of the guys, Danny, went to work for BT. And I remember Friday evening, about 9 o'clock, it's like, why is Danny ringing me? Andy, massive cock up. He said, I've completely forgot. One of the guys goes on paternity leave next week for 3 months. I need somebody who says, can you come up? And I'm like, right. He's like, contracts and, you're a contractor. I'm like, okay. When? He went, can you come up Monday morning? Okay. So the whole of Saturday, I was ringing Jack going, how do I stand? What do I need? Professional indemnity, all of this.
Yeah.
So ran around like an idiot. Turned up on Edinburgh. It was the Registers of Scotland. Huge commercial building, government building. Turned up, went to see Danny and basically slotted right in. And the 3-month contract turned into 9 years. Wow. I just kept working my way up. I'm one of these people where I will sit down and I'll work with you and then I'll go, right, what's next? What else can I do? Can I help you? Can I help you? Can I help you? And no disrespect to permanent employees, as a contractor, you are frowned upon. But I was so eager that I just kept working my way up and up and up, and to a point where they were just going, contract's over, Andy, you've done as much as you can. So 9 years later, I ended up disappearing. And that's when I said it was me singularly. I only started with the contracting work. I didn't need Michelle. So in 2005, as I was saying, I set up Resilient. Stupidly, I also asked Michelle to marry me in the same year. I've only got 1 year to remember.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I proposed and we set up the company. We were going to do the wedding on an absolute shoestring. And then obviously the contract kicked in. We went massive. So we ended up having a very, very nice wedding. But you can imagine that I was working 4 days a week in Scotland, keeping my customers local. It was becoming like I'd finish my job in 5 o'clock, go home to the hotel and go, sorry, James, I couldn't even go back to you. Can I just jump on your PC?
Yeah.
Killing myself. Yeah. And that's when I asked my best friend, my best man, to say, look, can you help us out? Yeah. He started working for me. And then really the whole thing just grew to a point where when the 9 years for registers stopped, I did end up getting another quick contract with Durham University. So I ended up helping them out. But after that, I was like, I don't need this anymore. I want to concentrate and grow Resilient. So yeah, it's still a 4-man team, but we punch way above our weight, I'd like to think.
Yeah, fantastic.
And how, obviously, need to say, in the last 26 years, technology's changed somewhat. What's been the biggest change that you can put your finger on?
Well, obviously, AI is a massive buzzword, but that's only come in the last couple of years. For me, it's all about when people have moved to the cloud. If you remember, obviously you're of the age, you probably remember massive servers, rooms worth of servers. Now everything's just in the cloud and you can access the same data, whether you're on a laptop, an iPad, an iPhone, anything like that at all. So the cloud, to me, has been a massive influence in how people can work. Also, it means you're not tied to an office. If you think gosh, COVID. Who remembers that? When COVID hit, our phones lit up. And when I was speaking to some of my customers at the time about this Microsoft Teams, the cloud services, all of these types, everybody was like, I don't need it, Andy. I come into the office, I sit at my desk, I'm happy.
You chat to the person next to you.
I'm chatting to the person next to me. I'm just making a cup of coffee. Everything just works. COVID just went, you ain't doing that anymore.
Not today.
Not today. We all had to work from home, and the amount of phone calls I had from, Andy, you know that Teams thing you mentioned in the cloud? How does it work? How quickly can we set it up? So for us, COVID was just an explosion. I felt as though we were growing, and then suddenly we skyrocketed. So cloud, yes. In the last couple of years, AI I embraced it with open arms because I was just thinking, how can it help my customers? How can it help them automate their life? And it really has just been a godsend. I still think people are scared of it. I still think people treat it at arm's length because they're like, you know, although ChatGPT seems to be, if you can have a funny meme, everybody suddenly forgets all their security features. Oh, not a problem at all. I'll create myself as this Barbie doll. Well, hang on a minute. You've just given it your name, where you work, what you do.
Photo of yourself.
Photo of yourself.
Might as well put your passport on there as well.
Yeah, you might as well. But I'm always of the ilk as well. People are sometimes like, oh, I didn't put this in, I didn't put that. I'm like, have you got a phone? Are you on Facebook?
It's there anyway.
It's there anyway.
Yeah.
Unless you've got something to hide, please don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. You know, I always remember my dad, bless him, when I very, very first introduced him to computers, he would Amazon. Oh, I want to buy things off Amazon, but I daren't put my credit card in. Okay, Dad, I'll pump round, give me your card, I'll put the credit card in, I'll click pay. Okay, did that for a whole 3 or 4 months, and I went, one day I couldn't get around. Just click pay, Dad.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Amazon. Spends a fortune now. But it's what it's all about. Once you get used to it, and once you realise that the data is, I'd say 99.9% safe, you're fine with it.
Yeah. For a small business, or if someone's setting out in business, obviously costs are controlled.
Yes.
A lot of people may think that, you know what, I can sort my IT out myself. I'll buy a laptop and I'll pay for a security package or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
What would you say to those people? Is that okay for a certain number of users?
I think so. I mean, if you're thinking about when I was mentioning that lovely lady Alice up in Fife, she was exactly the same. Single computer, single email, wanting to work out what and how to do, and everybody does it. You want to keep the costs minimum. You go to PC World, you get yourself a laptop, you get yourself some emails hosted on whatever. I think from a business point of view, I still find it funny when I'm wandering around and maybe see, let's have a look at the van. What's the Carvers? Oh, how do I get henry1920@gmail.com? Not quite sure that puts across the right business point.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've been very lucky. I've picked up a couple of lovely PAs who work for other companies, and bless, they've been passing my name on. So the single person has suddenly realised, I'm like, oh my goodness, do you mean I can do this? I can do this? And I think nowadays, unfortunately, if you look at the world we're in with the awful things going on, security, everybody's now just a little bit more conscientious. Yeah. I think in the early days, you're right. A single person, a single email, what's to worry about?
Yeah.
There's nothing to worry about at all. When you get 2 to 3 people, and I always remember the story that my customer, before I got them, was 2 or 3 guys, I send you the document, can you revise it? Version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4, version 5. They ended up sending out the version 3 to the suppliers, to the customer, which actually made them lost about 10 grand because they hadn't added it on that whole version control thing. And I was like, spoke to me and I was like, absolutely not. Store it once in the cloud, and I call it a single pane of glass, one Bible.
Yeah.
That's the document live. Everybody, you send that's live to the customer. Yeah. So I think when you get to 2 to 3 people, you really have got to take stock and go, how can I protect not only my data, but my reputation? I work for Resilient like you work for Carvers, and I'm sure as you own the business, your passion, your heart in it. Not that I'm destroying the workforce, but if you hand it over to another employee, has that other employee got the same passion that you have? Will they just go, well, what's that link? That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. That's when I go, no. Reputation, branding, everything like that. So not only do I, as I said, I hate to call it IT. I like to keep a customer, a company running with all the things that you would expect. So when I'm speaking to these one-man bands with the greatest of respect, even I'm sat there going, right, where's your IT code of conduct? It's me, Andy. No, let's get these things in place. You know, and you do have to have that inclination that goes, when you grow and you take on that next person is part of you. It's an extension of your company. You need to put your best foot forward. So all of these IT code of conducts, you will not do this, you will not do this. You know, and it's a real... I think it's a real eye-opener. And again, bless you, gentlemen, you know, you've grown and you've seen this, and the exact same thing. There are lots more things to take into account. And you've got to try and understand that. So from my point of view, and again, it's a story, but it's a funny story. I always remember putting in some antivirus software and some web categorization software. And it was these 4 ladies, and bless them, they got this gentleman. And in the first week, let's just say my adult content filter started going. So, I mean, what do? You're just like, okay, fine. You have to have a word with this person. So I reported it to the boss, and she went, okay, well, keep me one step removed. Can you ask him? And I have got to take my hat off to him. And it was basically, let's say he was called George. He wasn't called George. George, have you been watching adult content during your lunchtime? Yes, I have. Right.
Please stop it.
Can you stop it, please? Yeah, not a problem, but you never told me I couldn't. Wow. Okay. Fair point. Okay. So now, interestingly enough, I repeat that story to the people and I go, by the way, you're blocked from adult content. You know, well, why wouldn't I be? Like, let me tell you a little story. But these make the stories, don't they? They make who you are. It makes, when I'm regurgitating the story to the customer, it makes them laugh, makes them feel more at ease. I'm like, listen, I'm only doing it to protect you. I'm only doing it to protect the business. So those types of things I bring from a high level down to a small one-man band, but they feel much, much more secure. And it gives them confidence to grow, I think.
Talking of sort of cybersecurity, we've sort of mentioned a couple of times in passing, if somebody clicked on a link that they shouldn't click on, what are the risks to a business? What could happen if someone at Carver's or someone at any business got an email, didn't realise it? Some of them look quite clever,
They are
genuine.
Incredibly genuine.
Could you just talk us through, for anyone listening or watching, what to be aware of and what could go wrong?
No, absolutely. So if you think what could go wrong, and sadly, we have had instances of this. So from my point of view, we had a customer where this particular person clicked on a link. It asks them to sign into Microsoft 365, which they did. And even worse, even though we have 2-factor authentication on, because they were so clever, they authenticated it. The hacker then got in and immediately put a redirect on all of their emails to go into their conversational folder. So you wouldn't realize you were getting any more emails in. They then used their contact list and started spamming every single one of their contacts. So obviously what happens is it floods out. So suddenly I get an email from Carver's and I'm going, well, I know Henry, I know James. It's fine. I will click the link and the whole ball starts rolling. What's worse is that this particular person didn't realize, and I only realized they were being hacked when I got the email from this person. I'm going, that's false. Logged in, and I went, oh my goodness me. Blocked them.
So how long from them clicking?
10 days. They were in the system.
Really? Okay.
So obviously the question that my customers, what have they got? And I went, I don't know.
I was going to say, what damage can they do? What information can they get?
Everything. This person was the owner. So they practically got access to everything. Wow. What I can't tell you is what they got. Because obviously, you know, if I think about it, if it was Andy logging in, when I look at all the logs, Andy access to financial data. Well, of course, Andy does. He's the owner. I can't tell what happens.
There's no difference.
The biggest problem they had, and from our point of view, is reputation. That was instantly damaged.
We've got to let all their clients know, all their contacts know.
What's worse, my friend, is I can't work out why people don't. Okay, there's been a hack. Fine, these things happen.
Mistakes.
Sony's been hacked.
And
Sony have got £1 million.
Jaguar Land Rover recently.
Jaguar Land Rover Co-op. If you think about their IT department, there are thousands and thousands of people. If they can't block it, what chance do we have? And I also remember that I took part in one of these cybersecurity, you know, you join them, like a state agent thing. You get online, and there must have been about 400 or 500 people of my ilk. And you must think that we've got 300, 400, 500 customers. The guy that was on there said, okay, how many have we got? 300, 400. Let's assume each one of you's got 200 customers. That's 50,000 members of staff, or whatever like that. To every single one of you, it's not if your customer will be hacked, it's when. And that is a super, super scary thought. So these hackers are at it 24/7. They run the businesses like this. Yeah. They've got buildings. If you've ever seen the Beekeeper film, with Jason Statham, that is actually based upon true life. They've got massive companies that just, your job is to hack. Your job is to hack.
So what are they after? Are they trying to get like ransom money, or
one person with a large amount of money?
Yeah.
So I also field a lot of calls, scam calls.
Yeah.
Hello, can I speak to you? Your computer's invalid, and I'm like, right, okay. So I string them along a little bit, and I'm like, listen, mate, I know what you're trying to do. Please go away. It's like, why are you doing this thing? And I always remember it was about 5-6 years ago. The guy went, I'm doing it to make money. I only need one person and I will make more money than you ever will in your lifetime. And sadly, that's true. So if this hacker had got for my customer, if they got the financial information, typically you hear about ransomware now, where they encrypt the data. What they're doing is they seem to be changing tack now. They want to release some data that's like, oh my God, that can't get out in the public.
Yeah.
What will you pay me to not release this? So it's awful. And I think there's always been criminals, and we've said this, and I've said this loads of times on my podcast, a car's not meant to be used for criminal, but they do use it.
Yeah.
A computer's not meant to be used for criminal, but people do.
Yeah.
So we've got IT and cybersecurity and ransomware. It does happen. When it does happen, it tends to be that the news sensationalizes it, but it's a real risk for all the customers out there. And I think from day one, I constantly keep on going, even to people on my own Facebook. Please forgive me, my Facebook account's been hacked. Put 2FA on it. What's 2FA, Andy? I'm like, your bank forces you to do PIN Sentry, forces you to 2FA. I badger on about Facebook and Instagram. I'm like, make it by default, you idiots.
Yeah.
But they won't, because it's hard.
Yeah.
I even get my customers today saying, oh, Andy, take the security off. It's annoying me. No.
Another 10 seconds or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
I will not do it, because the minute you get hacked, I'm the one you call and I'm the one you scream at. No, I ain't doing that. I'm really sorry. But when you explain it to them, they do. Oh, I get it, Andy. I get it. It's only a 10-second job in the morning. It's only this. It's only that.
Yeah. We probably should check that we've got it on.
Yes, you have. For the sake of this
we
podcast.
do, absolutely.
Absolutely,
yes,
you do.
Yes, we do.
But it's really strange how big, even when you subscribe to these big, huge websites like Slack, Jura, whatever like that, it's two-factors optional. And I'm like, why? You're putting your data in there. Think about it. Lock it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do a bit of charity work, I believe.
We do a bit of charity work
Can
as
you
well.
talk
Yeah.
to us about that? What
Yeah,
are you involved in? Which charities?
We do a lot of work for Full Motion Darlington Skate Park. So I remember Nigel, when it was him, he came to us, and it was through a friend of a friend of a friend.
That's the one in Faverdale.
Yes, that's the big skate park at
Brilliant.
It's brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely.
Kids
love it. Yeah, absolutely. But it was really due to the work that we do for WECO. So when an old computer gets end of its life and you put it out to pasture, they can be reutilised. So instead of chucking them away, well, you're not supposed to chuck them away, by the way. Do not ever chuck a laptop in the bin. You're supposed to recycle it, because with all the minerals and the electrics and all of that, Resilient offer that as a service. It costs Resilient, but I think it's the right thing to do. We're not in the best industry that's sort of like, eco, laptops, desktops, everything's plastic. So we decided to start recycling computers. And Nigel reached out and went, I'm looking to set this charity up. I'm looking to do absolutely, what can we do to help? I think we ended up giving him his broadband for free for 2 years to try and build it all up and try and work it out, how we can help. We donated computers to him. We donated this to him. We donated IT equipment to him. So I think it's really nice. I mean, Darlington, I've lived here most of my life. It's a fantastic community. It's growing rapidly. If I can do something to give back to the community a little bit with a charity, I just think it's the best thing ever. And obviously we support Team Luke. Big shout out to the tank. He's a great guy. So we're doing him as well. And also we do a lot of work for, I wouldn't call them charities. So there's There's a business that works out of Pease House in Darlington. Forgive me, I won't mention their name. They deal with some very sensitive stuff. But yet again, if you think Windows 10 was end of life, October, if anybody's got Windows 10, nope, you should be moving to Windows 11. We suddenly got an influx of old hardware, and we were like, what do we do with this all? This particular customer was saying, listen, we haven't got much money, we can't upgrade to Windows 11. And I was like, do you want some free PCs? And they were just like, oh my goodness me, thank you so much. But again, why wouldn't you? I'm only going to chuck it in the bin. If I can repurpose it, and what does it cost? A couple of hours of resilience time. I think it's worth it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so we do a lot of stuff like that. It's a nice thing to do. I think one of the beautiful benefits of it was that my wife is a member of the Darlington Business Club, and she was in a meeting, this was a few years ago, and she was introducing herself to somebody. Oh, I'm Michelle from Resilient. And he went, I know about you. My son goes to Faverdale. I see your signs up. And you know what? Great. Absolutely fantastic that instantly we were known. To me, that was like, okay, great, thank you. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
So it's really good.
Yeah, fantastic. What's next for Resilient? What are the plans for the rest of the year? More of the same?
More of the same, I think. One of the things that we are finding a lot of nowadays is that you've got data everywhere. So, you go over here and you get data from there, you put it into this system here, then you've got to put it into Zero, you've got to put it into Sage. Over the last 2 to 3 years, we seem to have found a little bit of a niche where we are writing custom portals for people and we're automating things. So we're taking the data right the way through to automatically invoicing things. And that, to me, seems to have hit such a sweet spot with people. I'm doing a project at the moment for Dan Holliday, who's DMH Electricals. He works in Darlington. He's a great guy. The business is wonderful. But one of his biggest issues at the moment is that if you fill something on his website, it sends him an email, which is fine. That's how businesses work. But he's then going, oh God, Henry and James, they wanted information about solar PV. They wanted information about...
Just send something automatically.
And that's exactly what I've done. I've literally gone, the email is monitored by Microsoft Power Automate. Oh, right, this guy wants information about solar PV. I know exactly where it's stored in SharePoint. I'll attach it to the email. Thank you very much. Put a reminder in Dan's diary saying phone him back in 2 weeks' time. Yeah. Honestly, Dan's just going, oh my God, thank you so much.
Saved him so much time.
It is, but he's then sat down, God bless him, going, what else can it do? And I always... I run Teams meetings when I do these things, and about the 4th time I did this, I coined the phrase, and it's not a phrase that I coined the phrase from a film, and I said, right, this project that we're going to call it, it's called the Willy Wonka Golden Ticket Project. What do you want? Aim for the Willy Wonka project. And I've even got the Willy Wonka project screen in the background with all the cast of Gene Wilder and things like that. And customers come on and they just start laughing and they go, what's this all about? And I explain it and it goes, So I did the same thing to Dan, and he's now going, right, so when you asked about that solar PV installation or the solar battery installation, he's got to fill in so many forms, submitted to so many websites, submitted to so many things. We're now looking to absolutely automate that whole thing. And he's even gone down to the point of when the installation happens to where this gentleman lives, let's assume it's Leeds. We're using AI to automatically book a hotel for his engineers. We're looking to say what's the local pubs, what's the local things, because these projects could last a couple of weeks. So he's saying, well, what's the greatest things that they can do? Where's the nearest theatre? Where's the nearest pub? Where's the nearest strip? No. I
was going to say, a pub and strip.
Well, these guys, I mean, obviously, but no. But he's now thinking, and we're in the process of designing, that when the job gets allocated, press the button, let's assume that you two guys are the engineers, your phone would get an email, you'd click on the link, and it would go, here's the job details, this is where the guys live, this is where the pub is, this is where the hotel is, these are local amenities. And he's like, wow.
Brilliant.
And so that whole thing is where I feel Resilient will start to get pushed towards more. I'd like to think we've got, touch wood, we've got a lot of automation in process, so we keep the natural day-to-day things running. So it's allowed me to sit back and go, what do people want? And that's when I talk to my customers and then go, and I sit them and I look at them going, oh my goodness me, what are you doing? let's automate this. And yes, it costs money, but I think we've been, the biggest success story has been working with a large company in Wilmslow. They do a lot of commercial property valuations, and we've worked with a system for them about 3 to 4 years now, and they reckon on average it saves them about 50 to 60 grand a year.
Wow.
Just in pure time.
Yeah.
So to me, I think that's where I want to start pushing a little bit harder. I mean, obviously, again, great that customers come out there. Bless, as you say, we laughed about the podcast. I do get a lot of people just going, your name was passed on, your name was passed
Brilliant.
on, which is a fantastic
That's
word
the
of
best
mouth.
form of business, referral and recommendation.
I couldn't thank people enough for that.
Yeah.
But that's what has allowed us to sort of like sit back, take stock and go, where do we want to go now? And certainly the automation side, even with silly things like Copilot and even teaching customers, don't do that, do this. Oh my God, you saved me 10 minutes, Andy.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Fantastic. Fantastic. You've got a podcast as well with another guy.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Do you know him?
I'm not sure.
No, he's never here.
Could you tell us a bit about your podcast that you host with Adam?
Yeah, it's called Tech A Break. And basically we do, what you guys have done to me, which is very kind. We just get businesses in. We ask them how they're running their business, but we have a slight slant on it. And obviously it's about Tech A Break. And we've had some lovely, lovely guests involved. And it's all about making their journey exciting as well. I think from my point of view, I do get a lot of customers when I ask them, they're going, I can't talk for an hour. Who would want to know about estate agents? Who would want to know about this? And you're like, no, it's about you.
Yeah.
It's about you and your business, how you started.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe that when you're looking for any business, I don't care what it is, estate agent, resilient, you buy from people.
Yeah.
And if that person that you deal with suddenly clicks with you, you're like, I'll buy off you no matter what. And that's the key. And what me and Adam try and do is try and get that across and go, look, just tell us about your business. Everybody's in the same boat. You run your own business. I run my own business. Sometimes at night I'm going, why on earth am I bothering with this? Why can't I just become a store guy stacking shelves? I'm happily doing that. But no, it's what gets you out of bed in the morning. Yeah. And I think if you want to tie into those exciting things, anybody, Martin across the road, he does payroll. Everybody was like, payroll? But some of the stories that he came out with, he was in a place where he was robbed. And you're like, oh my goodness, tell me about that, and trying to trigger those stories. I get to see their eyes light up with fire going, I'm telling you a story about, and they get excited about their own business. And I'm like, that's exactly what we should be doing. So it's been really good. Bless him. I thank Adam a lot. He said, can you give me 6 weeks?
Yep.
Episode 121, I think, next week. So we've been going quite a while.
Good.
Yeah, but it's been great, and we have loads of lovely, beautiful people on, and I just love engaging with them. It's who I am, and we just have a great laugh with it.
Fantastic. If people want to look you up, if they want to contact you, what's the best way to
so it's www.resilientsystems.co.uk, or you can email us at inquiries@resilientsystems.co.uk. We're all over social media, and if I'm not, I'll kill Adam. But no, we're all over social media. And obviously, as I say, you can check us out, Tech A Break. We're on the podcast, but I'd love you to chat to anybody. And I think what's really nice is we do get, at the end of the day, if you think about it, when IT goes wrong, that's when I shout. I can have a system running for 364 days, never hear from the customer. Things go wrong, the phone lights up, and they're shouting at me, and I'm going,
when you earn your money.
It's when I earn my money. It's like everything I try and do. I'm there to make their bad day, make sure it doesn't end in a disaster day. I'm just there going, that's fine. I understand. Leave it to me. I'm here to help you. Yeah. And again, just going back, having that look on the faces when they go, oh, thanks for that, Andy. It's a real, real nice feeling that I can go home and make sure that, God bless the businesses of Darlington, the businesses that I've got, they can all sleep soundly knowing their IT secure, it's safe, and it just works.
Excellent. Andy, on that note, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been really interesting. Thank you so much indeed.